Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric. We got a brand new One I Feel Like It series for you guys because you asked for more visual novel stuff, so we're giving it a go, and we are calling this Just Here for the Vibes, because these are games that are exclusively in Japanese, a language I do not read, which means I have absolutely no idea what's going on. But even though I don't know what's going on, I can certainly tell you the vibes of these two games we're going to be talking about are spectacular. We're kicking it right off with Possessioner. Now these are two PC-98 games, both in the cyberpunk genre, and if this video does well, what I'm going to do is make more genre videos like this, maybe for horror, maybe for other genres, but all on PC-98 or other Japanese computers. So leave me a comment down below and tell me if you're into that or not, because if this video doesn't do well, it'll probably be the last one. But honestly, Possessioner has such an absolutely amazing look to it. This is cyberpunk to a T, and the PC-98 could put up some really nice visuals. The dithering on this is heavy, but it looks exactly like it should. I love that dithering shadow effect in the background, kind of giving that city that glow from the darkness of the sky to that lit up sort of cyberpunk neo-noir look to it. And I will say, this game visually is absolutely outstanding, and the soundtrack is so good as well. It is shocking this has never been translated into English, because it's one of the most iconic visual novels as far as the look is concerned. This intro just does it for me. It has that look and that vibe, that PC-98 thing going on that I absolutely can't get enough of. I'm doing this because we talked about Dead of the Brain, the English translation, and everyone seemed to love that video, so we're trying this again. But that's the issue with the PC-98 and visual novels in general. The best ones are in Japan, and they're only in Japanese, and it seems like every once in a while one of these gets translated, but there is such a laundry list of amazing looking games that probably have a great story that we just cannot understand, unless you speak Japanese or are from Japan. In that case, you're probably not watching my video for this. But the PC-98 has so many good titles, and it's so fun to talk about this because I am a visual artist, I am a filmmaker, and of course I talk about gameplay all the time on the channel, but I love talking about how things look. And even though I don't know what's going on in Possessioner, I know I like the look of it. But you'll see here after the intro, we get right into the core gameplay, and it's a visual novel, but it does have sort of turn-based combat elements to it as well. And right off the top here, blindly navigating menus, what it seems like we need to be doing is assembling our team together so that we're able to go into battle. You have to go through certain menu options to get to the areas you need to select your team and basically get them ready. But of course, story-wise, absolutely no idea what's going on whatsoever, and that's probably why there's not that many videos on this genre in English, because it's really hard to explain to you guys what may in fact be happening. But that pixel art, those characters, the chairs in the background, those monitors that almost look like they're sonar or something off a submarine, and you can see the city in the background. The art in these games is absolutely impeccable, down to the fact that that one little chair or screen in front of the girl's legs is drawn as semi-transparent. You can see behind it. The pixel artists in these games did absolutely everything they could to set a tone and a vibe and build a universe. And even though the cutscenes are slow, they really do that great job of transitioning and showing you things like just like this ship bay opening right now. It takes like 10 to 15 seconds in real time, but you're there for it. You get to watch it and you get to live in it. You even get a cutaway just of the engines burning up, getting up to full power, and it's just a ton of fun. But you get to the first battle, and this game becomes very, very impenetrable if you don't speak Japanese. I tried to go as far as I could with Google Translate. It's not a very good methodology of trying to play these games, but it really is all we have. And I was at least able to get into a battle, but from there I really couldn't understand what was going on whatsoever. But this city, all the signs in the background, that casino sign, and these monsters coming out of the walls, I love the look, and that's what this series is all about. It's about the vibe of things, not the gameplay, because we just can't talk about it. But I will say the Possessioner also has an absolutely spectacular soundtrack, so go ahead and listen for like 45 seconds, and I'll come back and get to Game 2. The PC-98 sound hardware puts out that iconic sort of FM synth sound that we all know and love, and I will say that even though I have absolutely no idea how to get into these battles and do anything with it, it's still a fun time just to experience what these games look like and get a sense of them. So if you want to check something out, even if just to watch the intro, watch Possessioner, and I'll put the intro up after this video without me talking over it. But now to game 2, X-Girl Cyberpunk Adventure, because I said we were going with a theme this episode, and it is futuristic cyberpunk. This game is by Fairy Tail. Now, they've made a lot of visual novel games, and I would say 90% of them you don't want to go anywhere near based upon the subject matter. It's not what we like at this channel or talk about, but some of their games are quite good. There's a side set of games from Fairy Tail that just deal in horror or cyberpunk and things like that. And the world of X-Girl, I love this sort of green, bluish, neon glow. Kind of feels almost like Gotham City, except in the future and in Japan. But Fairy Tail were another excellent developer when it came to doing pixel art. All of the different vignettes you get to see, all of the characters are fully realized and look absolutely spectacular. Now I will say in a little bit, I am going to cut a little bit of this game. I will show you what I can, but you can see that some of these games have a certain theming to them, and that's fine if that's your thing. Some of them go way too far in my opinion, but X-Girl is going to be perfectly acceptable as far as the content's concerned, but we're still here for the vibe, and you get a real Castlevania feel off this with those red curtains and that bed and even the glow from the train. I love how it's drawn. I love how the shadow hits her face. There's a nice sense of perspective here with that train and road in the background, or even our main character coming off of this ship. Basically, this is an investigation game. We need to figure out certain things in certain settings. Kind of the same way with Dead of the Brain, you need to examine everything to progress. That's going to be exactly what's going on with X-Girl here, but all of these things, that rich royal color of purple, how she's holding her hand to her face, they set the tone, they set the vibe, and it is a tone and a vibe that I 100% love to look at. And again, another game which I really wish would get translated into English. If I had any ability to read Japanese, maybe I'd do it myself, but it doesn't seem like there's a big market out there for these games to be translated, because I'm pretty sure 99 out of 100 of you probably haven't heard of them. So do leave me that comment down below and tell me if you've ever heard of X-Girl Cyberpunk Adventure. I'm assuming it's going to be no on that. But now that we have control of the playable character, just like Dead of the Brain, this is just a game where you get contextual information based on the text. You click around different areas on the screen until there's nothing else available, and then you can move to a different area of the level you were in. And this does work relatively well with Google Translate. I did it a little bit in my playthrough, and it does make contextual sense. And what doesn't make sense, you can kind of infer with your imagination, and sometimes the imagination tells you a better story than the game ever could. But you just click on certain things until you can progress, and I've gotten about, I think, halfway through this game just via that method. And again, it's not in English. I really wish it was, and maybe one day I can update this video with English. But now that we've seen everything in this screen, we can transition to other parts of this area, and we get to talk to the soldier here with impossibly broad shoulders. I really hope that's part of the uniform and not his actual stature. And you just collect information, but again, I love the art, how there's that dark defined shadow on his nose because the brim of his hat would be hiding the light if it was coming straight down from the ceiling. The artist had a great sense of how directionality and light actually worked, and that's why I'm pretty sure this series might not go anywhere, because I'm talking about directionality in light. But now we have the main feature of this area. We have a girl, and we need to interrogate or sort of interview her, or get her to basically follow along with the script. And trust me when I say, you have to click on absolutely everything in these games to see what's going to happen next. But once you do finally figure out what to click on, the scene's going to transition and we get to the section of things I cannot show you. But the soundtrack is absolutely spectacular, so listen to that for 45 seconds and I will be right back. Again, on X-Girl, absolutely spectacular soundtrack, but now that we've done everything in this scene, what I mean done everything, I mean done everything, we can move on into the city and navigate to the police station, and that's just kind of what happens with these games. Sometimes there's content that's just not going to be for YouTube, and that is how it works. But yeah, that's the concept of this series, just here for the vibes, talking about Japanese visual novel games or other Japanese games where you really can't play them unless you speak Japanese. I have an idea for the next video too, actually. We can either do body horror or we can do sci-fi horror, so leave me a comment down below and tell me which one you'd rather see. If this video does well, I'll make it. Intro to Possessioners after the credits, but yeah, I'm just here for the vibes. See you guys next time. Bye bye.